Namhlanje sicila kwinkundla yeinwele nokuzinakekela. Soqala sihlangene nosomabhizinisi wethu oqala intokazi ekhulumela phansi futhi enesizothe. Igama lakhe uMorwesi Moumakwe, ongomunye ke babaphathi benkampani yaziwa ngokuthiwa yiBlack Olive Hair Salon elapha eWonderpark north of Pretoria. Uxoxisana nathi ngezimfihlo zakhe zokuthi ibhizinisi lakhe ulenza kanjani ukuthi lithuthuke. Ngemva kwalapho siyandiza siye eKapa ukuyohlangana ne-medical aesthetic practitioner Amy Bowie, oyi-owner and founder of Pulse Dermatology and Laser. Amy shares with us a secret of keeping her clients young forever. Salons are considered as one of the biggest entrepreneurial endeavors next to shebeens. Market research estimates 12.1 billion rands of shampoos, relaxers, and hair lotions were sold in South Africa, Nigeria, and Cameroon.
The beauty industry in South Africa at the moment,
I think it's something that is now growing. We're supporting it.
A lot of people, not only females in general, have taken a liking to grooming.
The global medical aesthetic procedure market is worth about $6 billion and it is expected to grow to about $10 billion.
I think hair industry is doing very good. Yeah, because there's a lot of styles.
Makeup is now portrayed as an ingredient of beauty.
Got American, they have nails that will glow in the dark. We are not there yet.
South Africa follows global trends with vast majority of non-invasive cosmetic procedures being sought out by women, with South African men at 2%.
It is owned by both males and females.
So 50-50 right now because guys, I know a lot of guys professionally that are starting to pick up the pace and challenge ladies in the beauty industry.
Actually, the new people in the game are the gays.
The beauty industry is a very lucrative business worldwide. Lapha in South Africa, the beauty and hair industry is estimated with value ehamba lapha ku-9 billion rand per annum. Uyabona ke namhlanje siqoqisana ke noMorwesi Moumakwe. Yena ke nodadewabo ababona ukuthi abasungulele ibhizinisi labo kuyona ke lenkundla le. Le bhizinisi labo ke libizwa ngokuthiwa yiBlack Olive Hair. I-based lapha yana ke ePretoria North.
My name is Morwesi Moumakwe from Black Olive Hair. We're trading at Wonderpark Shopping Center, which is north of Pretoria. The services that we provide, relax, styling, we do cornrows, we do straight back, straight up.
Namhlanje ngise-Wonderpark ngizohlangana noMorwesi, obunye kwabaphathi ke benkampani ebizwa ngokuthiwa yiBlack Olive Hair. Uyabona back then uMorwesi waqala ke yena kuleli business esiza usisi wakhe njengoba yena kwaye marketing assistant. Through ukuthi yena ke wayesebenza ngokukhulu ukuzimisela futhi yenza umsebenzi omuhle. Namhlanje useyi-shareholder ke into esifuna ukuyazi ukuthi ke uMorwesi yini ke yena ke into abayenza ke different kule business labo. Futhi ukuthi what makes yona ke iBlack Olive Hair Salon unique kunalamanye amabhizinisi akhona la ngaphandle. Before there was Salon here, before there was Black Olive Hair and all this beauty that I see here.
Yeah.
Yes. Talk to me about the journey of rekisa moriri.
Okay, in 2010, we decided there's a gap around the Garcia area for hair extensions.
Okay.
So then we started trading in a barrel. As time went by, we moved into a bigger store, which was half the store actually. And then after that, after like 2 years, then our clients started demanding a salon where they can install the hair pieces that we were selling. So that's where Black Olive Hair Baby was born.
Yeah.
In 2013, we moved into the store.
I started working here last year, and then weave technician, junior stylist, that is. Yeah, the experience is on another level. And then I get to learn more, and we go to things like workshops, So that broadens my profile. Yeah.
This is my sister.
Yeah.
She's also the owner of Black Olive Hair. And I Tomileng actually, and I joined in afterwards.
Nice.
Pleased to meet you.
Eh, legame.
Reten lekai.
Our thing will allow to. So, when we see the what about Lisa, your little sister in the business?
Run business all one. Inally a lot of challenges, and at the same time, I know I'm a multitasker, but it's a challenge. So I want to know ke one ke na le tiro e simololang 8 to 5. So nkampe ke kope motho e leng gore ke a mo tshepa.
Funding e tlhagile kae?
Believe it or not, ke bolella Morwesi ke re Morwesi wa itse go na le this thing e leng go Wonderpark o ka khona re nthuse ka something yana ne ke joke khante Morwesi o na le 5,000 rand ba re ke tla o fa 5,000 nna ke tse
Sometimes students at the time.
Yes.
Yeah, students are doing 5,000.
I was part-time student.
Oh, part-time student. Okay.
So for me, we went rareka di hair pieces about 3,000 rand worth. Rapatela rent ya mo Wonderpark ne ba e batla ra set up a shop.
Who does what more? Come on, le babedi.
Nna ka hore ke phela ke stay mo businessing. Meroko wa ka go make sure hore ke negotiate ha di contract di start le ha di fela. Ke negotiate le di supplier and ke place di order in terms of order international. So we do that.
And then when I was here.
Nake more on your operation side, your branding. If you go on our social media, our website, that's where I can like specialize.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can playground there.
Ke nahana ke mengwaga e me4 ke le client ya Black Olive. A decent hairstyle, for example this one, I'd pay no less than 500 rand. You know, so yeah, I never really look at the price.
Kamo ke meriri ya rona.
Yes.
Rane Brazilian ke rane Peruvian hair two-tone.
Angeli it's D4 ne?
D4.
Ke bokae?
Length ke 20 inch.
Or ya ka di length before charge.
Raka length and then price ke 4.2.
That's including installation or excluding installation? Excluding installation.
But obviously the shorter you go, the cheaper it gets.
Installation is bokae?
I'm near 370.
370.
Yeah.
It lasts for how long?
It depends when we tlhokomela yang. Some ladies prefer a month. We recommend
a month for 4.2.
We recommend a month. I can wait until you come for treatment,
okay.
And then we look at happy if you want to.
How do you cope with competition?
Well, we make sure we're clean, because most of the clients are never complain about cleanliness at the salon. So we make sure we're clean. We make sure the staff are friendly. We make sure we have a good experience. Like, I feel like the air spa, have a massage. I'm the youngest, so I never got shouted at.
She was spoiled from that.
Morwesi onezwi elikhulumela phansi elipholile yena ke phela ke lo dad lo uphuma ke ekhaya elosomabhizinisi uphinde ukhumbula ukuthi uma wakhe nodadewabo nabo ke phela ke bawosomabhizinisi sixoxisene nabantu abamazi kabanzi ke uMorwesi ukusitshela ukuthi lento kazi isakhula kwakusiso njani ke yena futhi nokuthi uthando lwakhe lwezamabhizinisi luqhamuka ku
There's a 10-year gap between us, so you can imagine. Obviously, I have to remind her all the time that I'm the big sister.
I'm the youngest, so I never got shouted at. But I never gave anyone a reason to shout at me.
And what we always say is that when I'm Morwesi about tepisa go high, especially my dad, because Morwesi is named after our grandmother. And then, so for my dad, it's like, "Ki mama motho, so you better, treat her well." So she was spoiled from that.
So that's the relationship we had. It was a princess and dad relationship.
I think like all of us, she didn't take it well.
I think she felt like her world shuttered down for a while.
To try and approach her sometimes, it really was a slow process of trying to approach her, find out how it is, because it's going to be very, very painful. But what she did was she tried to be strong, and we all know you can't be strong in such a situation.
No, my dad's passing was sad. It affected me a bit, but through church and prayer, I got through it.
Her weakest quality, which was found very strange, right? She's got tendencies to switch off and be highly insensitive.
Sometimes I can be a bit impatient. I'm sometimes a bit impatient with stuff.
Yeah, she's like, "Oh, why are your kids hungry? Why aren't you doing anything about it?" She's like that, yeah. I mean, why the hell didn't you get a job so your kids can eat? It's like, maybe something happened.
She's a straight talker. She'll tell you right straight at your face, including me, by the way, which I find that sometimes I would wonder, really, Morwesi, I'm your sister, you better watch out now.
I'd say being impatient is a weakness.
Mo is of all of us. She's calm. She's very, very together, right? She's got random pop-up moments.
She's very friendly. She gets along with almost everyone.
Mo's loyal and very committed. And if you ask her, like, "Oh, my buddy, if I was broke, would you help me?" She'll say, "No, hell no." But the day that you're broke and you need help, she'll help you out.
I'm dependable. Like, my friends and my family can depend on me for almost anything.
Udaba lokuthi iBlack Olive Hair Salon yona ke yathuthuka kanjani? Lufana njengenganekwane. Phela ke kusukela lapho khona ke besafufusa bona bedayisa izinwele ukuze bebe la khona ke bekhona namhlanje njengoba benendawo yabo enkulu kakhulu. Cha, lokho kudinga ukuthi ke lapho sibashayele ihlombe. Umurwesi njengamanje usestudio sethu uxoxisana noPepsi ngokumtshela ukuthi ibhizinisi lakhe lona ke lapha yana lisebenza kanjani.
We just arrived here at Making Moves Studios to meet Pepsi. It's so exciting, but at the same time, nerve-wracking. How do you feel, Morwesi?
I'm nervous, but we'll see when we get there.
Morwesi and Cecilia started their business selling hair pieces from a small kiosk in the Wonderpark shopping centre in Pretoria. Today, they've grown their business into a brand that is synonymous with quality, professionalism, and good hair care. They're both here in studio to tell me more about their business. Ladies, good afternoon, welcome. Lishap.
Rashab, how are you?
No, I'm very good, I'm very good. Before we started, I shared some of my misgivings about weaves and how they tend to, the owner of the weave tends to leave a piece of themselves when they leave. That's my only problem with weaves. Otherwise, I generally don't have a problem with them.
Okay.
So how did you guys, give me the top 3 reasons why you think you grew fairly quickly and grew so well from a kiosk to a hair salon that's doing really nicely.
Our clientele has grown. We went from, like you're saying, from a small shop to now a bigger salon. So as time went by, our clients grew even bigger. So people clearly want more of us. That's like one point. Second, I'd say even our profit margin has grown. So that also gives us a sign that we're doing something good in our business. And thirdly, I'd say, what else?
The brand itself has really spoken for us and the way it's managed. Morwesi, she's professionally a PR by qualification. So she's doing a very good job. And also, I believe that in terms of managing the business, you know, if one has got a steady head and making sure that there isn't much wastage, then you just focus on the goal. That's what has actually grown us to where we are today.
And then just in terms of, le sebetsa in a space that is very competitive. Go na le batho ba bangata ba rekisang di-weave, go na le batho ba bangata ba rekisang meriri, go na le batho ba bangata ba nang le di-hair salon. So how do you intend to survive in this game? And you also want to expand, and how do you intend to do that in a space that's highly competitive, and also the barriers to entry? It's not difficult getting started. So, you know, how do you intend to contend with that?
I'm happy you mentioned the barrier to entry, because I know that's one industry that anyone can get into. You can sell your weave from the boot of a car, but if you want to make it as a business, you must make sure that you are steady. People should trust you. People should know where to find you. We know that the weave is a dead hair. You know that something can go wrong. But then in terms of black olive hair, because you know where to find us, we are giving you that guarantee that we will be there. We are ready to refund you should you not be happy. Although we do try to educate our clients about the actual hair so that they understand what is it that they are buying into. So that, I guess, will give us that staying power.
But how should I weave? Let's say how should I weave here Beyonce, or when I watch TV and I see what Tyra Banks and whatnot, Kadi weaves Sabona. Our weaves just don't look the same. They're not as nice. Why is that? Why do they have better weaves than us?
The time, how should I put it, the durability is not the same. Like if you look on our website, there's different types of weave. For those who can afford the ones that will last you longer, and there's those that don't last you longer, but they still look nice.
Hohola from there. What's the plan in order to be able to do that? And how are you going to compete for the client with all these other mushrooming businesses?
Okay. All right, I think let's start with the first one, the growth. Growing from where we stand, we believe it's highly possible. We're actually looking into expanding in the next year to 3 more stores. And that's a prerequisite really for a franchising model, to see if those 3 stores can actually duplicate the franchising model. Because we've been into an incubation process where we were taught on how to actually duplicate our processes, since according to our supporter, it's actually working well. So that should also set us apart from those mushrooming salons that are also competing for the same market.
So these 3 new shops, the Lili Batlang, or are you looking at expanding beyond the Tshwane region?
We are looking at expanding beyond. We're looking into the rest of Gauteng and in future to the other provinces. The only challenge... In Pretoria. Yes.
Okay, so you want to grow and establish your presence in Pretoria.
Yes.
So have you identified space for these 3 shops?
We actually have identified space, and that's where the challenges come in, because it's not really easy for a smaller brand like us to knock on the door of the management at a certain mall and then for them to take us in, because that's where we are stuck. We literally giving in proposals and we are saying we're here, we would like to add value to your center. And because of those backyard mushrooming salons, we are all, painted with the same brush.
Best of luck. I'm sure you'll get into some of these malls. You've got the numbers to back it up. And I wish you only the best.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Black Olive seem to have identified all the right strategies to grow their business. Morwesi and Cecilia will now go into a coaching session to chat with Okela and get some advice on how they can continue to grow and make all the right moves.
The interview with Pepsi went very well. I mean, he asks very robust questions and makes you think a lot. I don't know what you thought, Morwesi.
I also thought it went well. He got us thinking about a lot of things.
I didn't hear you mentioning anything about your mail services that you provide. Are you planning to expand? Are you planning to
Yeah, we're planning to expand. We're looking at places like Centurion, Hartebeers, Polokwane.
Are you sure that you're ready to take everything that you have and simply replicate the model in a new place and in a new location?
From what we have, and with the margins, the way they've grown year on year, we believe that we are at a stage where we can actually take what we have and replicate it elsewhere, and by so doing, obviously growing the profit.
Great business, very possible to scale up. They just need to do it right. Tell me more about your services. Who's your client?
Our client will be mostly females who would want to experiment with their hair, like hair extension, get different looks with their hair extension or wigs. Okay. It would be a working woman.
Okay. And I didn't hear you mentioning anything about your male services that you provide. Do you cater to men at all?
We do.
Okay.
Although not to the extent which perhaps we should exploit, we cater for those who walk in.
Given the cost of what it takes to offer your male services, do you think you have an opportunity to grow that and to inevitably then grow the profit of the business based on the cost of providing that service?
In terms of cost, really, it doesn't really cost as much as it would cost a female client, Morwesi, because we would require a relaxer for a female, and whereas you'd probably require a powder shave or literally that shaving machine. So you're right, the costs are not that high for a male client as opposed to the female client.
When you understand how much each service costs you, you're able to know which products, which services to particularly promote in order for you to automatically increase your profit without doing anything more.
Yeah.
Same with your male services. Males are actually an amazing market.
What I like about her suggestion is that the male service end of what we do doesn't really cost that much. I mean, it's something that was just on our faces, but we didn't really think about it.
Also, look at how much time your shop space and your whole area, your whole business is looking towards men. Oftentimes, I look at salons, and when I walk into them, I see a lot of female things. I think if I were a male and I were to walk into that space, I probably wouldn't think I'm the ideal client. Yeah. So have a look at what associates with the men that walk into your space. Is it a barber chair? Do you have a barber chair that when I walk past, I'll look and say, they can cater to me? What is it that I can imprint on that as I walk into your business as a male, I know that I can come in here and spend my money? The reality is men are really price flexible. What do I mean by that? There's so much value to provide them in the service that you're providing with bare minimal costs in a salon.
Correct. Yeah.
Have a look at it. Have a look at how you can start drawing in more men so that as your retail space grows, you're also able to capitalize on a growth in the service space.
Okela seems to be knowing the industry very well, hence her ability to coach us so well.
I'm really passionate about people feeling good and people being confident about who they are based on how they look. And I think that Black Olive Hair does that well. For them, it's just going to be how we make more money doing it and how we make sure that people feel valued whilst they make money.
So now I've got my mirror. What do we do?
We're going to probably do a brightening peel.
Abeve benehaba kakhulukazi abantu mangabe bengenalo ulwazi olunzulu kakhulu ngayo ke lenkundla lena ke medical aesthetic. Uyabona ke usomabhizinisi wethu esizobe sichitha usuku naye uAmy Bowie ongumphathi wenkampani yaziwa ngokuthiwa ke iPulse Dermatology. Bona ke futhi baphinde benze nalezi zinto lezi ezikuthiwa ke eze-laser ezisiza kakhulu isikhumba sabantu. Sifuna ukwazi ukuthi ibhizinisi lakhe yena ke elibased lapha yana eKapa lisebenza ngani.
I'm Amy Bowie and I'm the founder of Pulse Dermatology and Laser. We are in the Western Cape, the northern suburbs, and we treat everything from pain-free laser hair removal to vein removal, water removal, you name it, we do it at my practice.
njengoba nawubona mbukeli ngisendaweni enhle eyaseKapa. I'm here to meet a global trotter. Intokazi ke esihambile ke wonke lamazwe yazinza phesheya yafunda lithize yadecide ukuthi ayibuye ke ize lapha ekhaya ke. Yaqokelela amasenti lapho ke besebenza khona phesheya wabona ukuthi njengoba ebuya la ekhaya uzosungulela elakhe ibusiness. Lentokazi lena ke yona ke she has opened up i-beauty clinic yakhe ke abayibiza ngokuthi Pulse. Igama lentokazi Amy Bowie. Ake sibone ukuthi business lakhe lisebenza kanjani. Please just tell me a bit, what exactly do you guys do here at Pulse? Because I'm seeing so many different things.
Yes, it's like a candy store for adults. Okay. It's something that I've developed. It's for the beauty industry, but I wanted it to be a little bit different to the spas that are out there. It's more like bridging the gap between beauty treatments and medical treatments. So we do a variety of laser treatments. We treat anything from little capillaries that are on the skin to removal of skin tags, to general sun damage treatments. So there's something for everyone.
So Amy, you worked overseas for many years in London. Yes. You worked your way up. You worked with the who's who, in that country. What made you decide to come back home and start this company here at home?
Well, London was amazing. My husband and I were there for a long time together, but it came to a point where we had to decide where we were going to put our roots down. Yes. You can't live with your head in one place and your heart in another. And we obviously thinking of having a family, and I just thought if I have children, I'd want them to have the same sort of upbringing that I had.
Is this kind of service that you're providing in South Africa something that is the people are warming up to? Because I would imagine in London it's it's the end thing.
It's commonplace. I worked in a surgery unit in London. I saw, you can just put it over there, thank you. I saw, everyone come in, and it was the first thing that they would talk about is liposuction, where you could do high definition laser and get 6 packs, and it was like from top to toe things being done. Yes. And it was all commonplace. Botox wasn't a quiet word. It was just normal. I'm going for my Botox appointment today. So it's a lot more conservative here. Although I do have a 40% male clientele.
Currently, right now in the business, it's you and Tony at reception. Yeah. How many people do you outsource other work to, and people that you work with in the industry?
There's going to be experts in their field. I can't afford to have them on staff 24/7. But then I've also got a laser therapist that does laser treatments as well, and then a doctor that comes in and does the injectable treatment.
Yeah.
So we met at a congress about 2 years ago, and from there on we immediately clicked. We both complement each other. So aesthetics is not only about one procedure, it's normally a combination of factors that leads to a certain problem. Amy is vibrant, she's stunning, she's always friendly, she really lives for her work, you can see that.
And I think we're going to start today with some LED light therapy. It's a nice, gentle way to introduce you to aesthetic treatment.
Get yours, man. Get yours, man.
So I can imagine coming back home and trying to set up this kind of business wasn't cheap.
It wasn't. I got the machine, my first machine, my laser over there, yes, from the UK. Oh. And my husband's in the shipping industry, so that sort of really helped. Yes. That's the Soprano XLI. It's a pain-free laser hair removal. Mm-hmm. I think I was the first person to bring it into South Africa. Wow. So laser is generally quite a painful treatment. Mm-hmm.
So now I've got my mirror. What do we do?
We're going to probably do a brightening peel. Yes, and it doesn't take very long. It's not very painful. Mm-hmm. But it's just It's what I call a no peel peel. I see the peeling, you don't. You just start to look fresher and brighter. All right, so I've put a sun protector on your skin now, so you're fine for today. It's an SPF 50 that I've put on. So basically, you're just gonna let this soak into your skin. Don't use any harsh chemicals on your face for the next week. And other than that, you can really go about your business as normal. You're not going to flake excessively. If you get a little bit of dry skin in a couple of days, it should clear up quite quickly, and then the skin will just look fresher and brighter.
Wena yena ke ungowesimame ke nogqozi olukhulu kakhulu futhi ke yena ke uhlale ecinga ngabathuba khona ke kulenkundla lena akasebenza kuyona. Sixoxisane nomyeni wakhe futhi ke nabangani bakhe abasitshele kabanzi ngayo ke imvelaphi yayo lentokazi. Amy ke uphinde ke futhi waxoxisana nathi nangemvelaphi yakhe ukusitshela ukuthi yize yena ke khulele ebunzimeni umanage kanjani ukuthi aphumelele ngako konke bekakwenza.
To be honest, my childhood was maybe not a normal childhood. I didn't come from a wealthy family, and my family did have a few problems.
She was a little bit of a rebel child then, I suppose.
I had a lot of problems with personal problems with my family, and there was a time where I wasn't living with them anymore. I was quite young.
When she went through a difficult time, then she came to me and she confided in me, and I went back to my parents and I discussed, you know, maybe if she could come and live with us. And you know, my family and my parents were very welcoming of her. She had just this extra energy, this extra fun that you know, just kind of brought a lot of color into our lives.
I could have dropped out of school and been a rebel child and thought that life was too much for me and decided not to make something of myself and just being a rebel. But I decided when I was given an opportunity to make something of myself, and I sort of haven't stopped since. I was born in Cape Town, and I grew up, I went to boarding school, and I didn't come home very often. It was sort of like once a month. So it was in Rubik West, so in the mountains, proper Boere town. Was the right kind of naughty, swam in the farmer's dam, that kind of stuff. I knew my husband before. Growing up, we knew each other.
There was always something about her personality. I think even from when I met her when I was kind of teenage years, there was just some little bit of spark between us.
He was living in the UK at the time, and I went to like this little town, sort of in the middle of nowhere, in the outskirts, called Buckinghamshire, and it's like a student town. It's not in London. And he was staying in London with some friends of mine.
We met up in the UK, so she came to visit me where I was staying. Started going out, dating. Shortly afterwards, we moved in together.
It was a little bit sad for us as a family because she had met this amazing guy and we didn't know who he was. You know, we only got to meet him when he came here, and he was such a big, integral part of her life over there.
I ended up being there for over 7 years, so it wasn't what was expected, but it was the best thing I ever did.
She's a very driven individual. If she sets her mind to something, I don't think there's anything which will really stop her at achieving that particular goal.
Everybody that she touches and comes into contact with just feeds off this amazing energy, positive energy that she kind of lives by.
She's got a very outgoing, bubbly personality.
Coming from a home that was broken and my confidence wasn't really there, even though I seemed bubbly to everyone else, inside, you know, I was hurt inside. and I definitely wanted to prove a point.
I'm always curious about entrepreneurs. You're not in the property business, so why do you want to invest in property?
Amy, yena nolwazi olunzulu kakhulu kuyona ke lenkundla leyasebenza kuyona. Phela ke lapha sikhuluma ngowesimami omneminyaka eyisikhombisa esebenza phesheya kwezilwandle. However, today she enters the lion's den where Pepsi is ready to turn up the heat. Ingabe na yena uzokumela konke lokho kuzobe kwenzakala e-studio njengoba bezobexoxa ngebhizinisi lakhe? Ake sibo.
So I'm just arriving at Making Move Studios, and I'm really excited to meet Pepsi and see what they can show me about my business and what more I can learn.
Armed with credentials and international experience in beauty and skincare from the UK, Amy Bowie returned to South Africa with a plan to make a difference in the beauty and skincare industry. 2 years later, she's managed to make Pulse Dermatology and Laser a force to be reckoned with. She's in the studio to tell me a little bit more about her business. Amy, welcome to Making Moves.
Thank you so much for having me.
Take a seat.
Lovely to meet you.
So, you spent big money, invested R1 million in this business.
Everything.
Where'd you get it from?
I worked overseas for 7.5 years, and I saved every single penny. So, the pound rand was good then. I did.
You did?
I did.
Okay.
But that's okay. I got to travel a bit, but, you know, you didn't go out to fancy restaurants and stuff like that. You just put everything away.
Okay, so you saved a lot and you plowed all that money into your business.
Yes.
And your husband, he had a bit of cash to throw in too?
Yeah, so I took his savings too, which is...
Okay.
So he really believed in me.
Do you both work in the business?
No, it's just myself.
Okay. So
although I tell him like everything that goes on, I bounce all my ideas off of him.
Well, you took his money, so you best tell him everything that's going on in the business. Okay, so are you getting the return that you want out of the business?
I think it's starting to get there now. Everything that I've been earning, I've been putting back into the company. So I started off with one key laser, but there's so many other things that I know and that I've learned, and I'm training all the time. So you want to stay abreast of all the latest technology. So if there is something new out there, I will try and get the best for my patients. So a lot of money has gone back into it, but now I've got quite a repertoire of different things that I do. It's getting to a point now where hopefully we can see some return and I can start investing in different sectors of the company.
Okay, what do you mean? Where else would you invest?
I would definitely, first of all, like a bigger premises. I think it's one thing that I'm struggling with at the moment is that I'm doing too many things myself. So I would like more therapists working for me, more girls that I can train up, and then so I would need a bigger premises for that, and that obviously costs a lot of money. Commercial properties don't come cheap, and I want to purchase a property rather than just rent it and give that money away.
I'm always curious about entrepreneurs. You're not in the property business, so why do you want to invest in property?
Well, I definitely want to own my own property because it's an asset for the company, first of all.
So make profits and then go buy properties and get other tenants.
I would love to go into property development one day.
That's a much better idea than buying your own property to operate from. It's very difficult being a landlord and a tenant in your own property. It's never a good idea. People have different views.
But how so?
My view, well...
Because I own my own property at home.
Yeah, you live in it. If the business takes a little bit of a, you go through a slow patch, it's very difficult being landlord because you've got to service a bond and you've got to run the business. It's challenging where you can, make terms with your landlord. If something breaks at the moment, your landlord fixes it, and some of those problems can get quite expensive. So do you not want to invest in your core business, grow and make as much cash as you can out of that, and then take that money and invest it in property as a separate enterprise?
It's a good idea.
Yeah, it's just a thought.
Yeah, it's a good idea. And there's a lot of different things that I want to do anyway. So it's just, I'm at that stage now. It's what is my next step going to be? How am I going to move forward? Because as you can imagine, I've got a million ideas in my head and I've got so many different things that I want to do, and it's where
where is the next step going to be? What is the next thing going to be that I do? So any advice you give me, I will definitely take on board.
It's just a thought. I mean, I think the greatest return generally will always be in your own business, that thing that you control.
Well, that's what it has been.
Understand the best. What makes what you do different from other laser technicians or laser and beauty therapy kind of spaces?
Well, first of all, there's me.
Okay.
Which is maybe not such a good thing because I need to be able to step out and not have to be involved so closely with everything. But definitely the fact that we don't do any sort of fluffy treatments. Patients don't come in and have a massage. It's not very quiet in my practice. There's always like sound, noise going on, but it's very results driven. So you can't have a manicure or a pedicure or a relaxing facial, but you're going to have a laser treatment. And I always say to my patients, hate me today, love me tomorrow. And I'm okay with that, you know. So I think that makes it very different.
Makes it different because your focus is laser?
Because that's my sole focus, is non-surgical aesthetics, medical aesthetic treatments. It's like bridging that gap between beauty and medicine, and that core bridge is what I've focused on, rather than having a bit of everything.
And is it only face?
No, face and body. I do so much body work.
Okay.
Cellulite treatments, lipolytic injections, which is the fat reduction, hair removal. I've got athletes that come in, they're, you know, the cyclists, they come for a lot of hair removal. So there's a whole variety of things that we do.
Yeah, and are you profitable now?
I am now. Well, I just got VAT registered, so that's another thing as well, learning all of that. But it's tripled turnover in the second year, so I'm going into my third year now, and the turnover is not tripled, so I'm quite happy with that. I'm sure it's going to plateau again as I want to expand again further, but then we'll just build it up from there.
Okay. Next, I'm in Cape Town. I am going to come for that gut treatment.
You don't need
those vitamins. No, you have no idea. Thank you very much for coming and sharing your story. I'm sure you've inspired a few entrepreneurs out there. And I wish you the best. I'm going to send you off to have a discussion and have a coaching session with a professional business coach who will give you feedback, and you can sound ideas off them, and hopefully you walk out of that with renewed vigor and passion and some clarity on how to best grow your business.
Thank you so much. I appreciate the opportunity.
Cool. Amy's very passionate about skin and beauty treatments, but still needs to resolve the dilemma of spending time working in the business as opposed to on the business, as well as getting some clarity on how she's going to grow her business and which of the multiple options she's got are best for the growth and the future of her business. I'm sending her for a coaching session with our esteemed coach, Martine Solomon, to help Amy strike a balance between operations and managing the business.
My interview with Pepsi was fantastic. He was not as intimidating as I thought he was going to be. He made me think about a lot of things, and I'm really excited to go over all of these thoughts with a coach now and see how we can move Pulse forward.
Off the top, your list of the first 3 most challenging things that you're facing at the moment, what would that be?
First and foremost is having someone in the business that I can trust. I mean, everyone who works there I trust, but having someone that can do the treatments and sort of be a second me at the company, so that I can move away from only doing treatments and sort of run the business more. So sort of differentiating and moving myself into that role has been something that I found quite challenging.
Okay, she's not processed her business yet. So she can't walk away from her business yet. She's still figuring things out. So it'll be a long while. She needs to document, evidence, all of that.
I know exactly what I want to do with my brand, and I've known that from the beginning. It's just how I'm going to implement it.
You obviously have a formal business plan in place, right?
I don't always stick to it.
Okay, that's fine. No. That's fine, but you do have it. I think the first thing when it comes to getting people to share your vision and to share your passion is for them to understand exactly where the business is going. So it's always very important when you spend that time with, whether it's new staff or old staff, where you just spend the time with them, for them to understand the journey that the business is following. Because often I find that if they don't get it, they run off course. Okay, so they pull into a different category, they move into a different space, they don't understand the growth of the business, and often when we're dealing with the smaller companies, they feel, is there space for them to grow? Because the only way that they'll be able to grow is if you're no longer there. And obviously you've got a growth strategy for the business. So it's always very important right from the start to communicate that to your staff so that they do understand that there is a plan in place and that they're not going to be staying there forever. You've also got an international approach to things. I can see that, which is fantastic. So you've got the international experience. I personally think you just need to cement that into the human capital within the business more so that they understand, and in a non-telling way, make them part of the decision making on a day. Get the ideas from them, so that they feel part of the business and part of the strategy.
It is something that I have already been working on, but to really make that my primary focus needs to be sort of top of the list.
Amy definitely has the pizzazz for the industry that she's in. She's got a lot of international experience, which is definitely going to be an advantage to her in the beauty industry, because what South Africa needs at the moment is shaping up in the beauty industry. And then I know one of the challenges you discussed as well was the marketing of your business. And I know the area that you operate in extremely well, because I'm from the area as well. So it's a very difficult area to market in terms of social media marketing, etc. And I understand that all too well with the businesses that I operate in that area. But what I do find is that there's a big market for aesthetics in that area. And if I were to give you one marketing advice, it would be to have tea parties, events where you go and talk about these things, and you'll find that the ladies will engage you afterwards, and that will bring feet into the door, because you've got the personality to capture people. Okay. The one thing that I found amiss is that she needs to read her market a little bit more, just to understand the market that surrounds her.
I've got a lot of insight from her, and I'm looking forward to implementing a lot of the things that we've spoken about into Pulse as soon as I get back to the practice.